Yo, what's up, guys? It's Noah here, breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Thursday, January the 16th. We're going to cover Thursday's 5-game slate, short slate today, but we're still going to go through each position, point guard through center, just talk about all my favorite options at each position. These are my first looks at the slate. I am recording this video the night before. I'm not going to touch on every single player, just touch on the guys that really stand out to me the most. Looking at this slate the night before, we will talk about Draftkings and we'll talk about some guys I like on Yahoo as well. As we do go through each position, we will build out an early core of 5 plays. These are 5 plays I specifically see the night before. Now, I do provide a lot of updated and in-depth content over on Patreon. I put these YouTube videos up the night before the slate starts, but as the day goes on, so as the day goes on Thursday, I'm putting up content on Patreon. I will have my article posted in the afternoon. I'll give updated core plays over on Patreon after some injury news breaks. There are some injuries we're going to have to watch heading into Thursday. There are some teams on back-to-backs, which is pretty big because some of these teams, like Boston, with Jason Tatum being out Wednesday, the Magic are going to be potentially without some guys today. We saw Gary Harris be out Wednesday. Denver's on a back-to-back as well. So a lot of those teams we're going to have to watch with injuries. As we get all this injury news and all these updates throughout the day, I'm over on Patreon putting updates in, telling you guys who I like with these injury updates. So you can check out my article, check out my updated core plays. You can get in our Discord chat. Where I'm in there throughout the day, just kind of talking through the slate, who I like, who I'm going to be on, trying to help you guys build out your lineups. So much content's going up over on Patreon throughout the day. So you can check out the Patreon, see all that I have to offer, link down below. If you do join by Friday, I am running a $100 free roll contest on Friday for Friday's NBA slate. If you are a Patreon member, you will have access to join that contest. It'll be a free roll, so it'll be free to enter. Top 3 get paid $50 to first, $30 to second, and then $20 to third. I mean, it's free to enter, so why not? If you are a member to the Patreon, you will be able to join. So if you've ever thought about joining the Patreon, I'd suggest that you join by Friday, so that way you can get into that free roll, have a chance to maybe win your money back, if not more. But just before we do get started, looking at today's slate, guys, as always, would greatly appreciate it if you would drop a like down below. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Click the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload. And if you haven't yet, you can follow me on Twitter, link down below at DFS by Noah. I am very active over on Twitter. Also, link down below is my Patreon, so if you want to check that out, you can as well. But let's go ahead and look at point guard for today's 5-game slate. So at the top, we got Devin Booker for $9K, most expensive point guard on Draftkings. Overall, he's the 5th most expensive player on the slate. I really like Devin Booker today in this matchup against the Knicks. We do already know that Kelly Oubre is going to be out for the Suns, which is pretty big. We can look at the usage this season with Kelly Oubre off the floor. It does have an impact. There are some beneficiaries when you take Oubre off. Booker does see a bump in his usage. Ricky Rubio sees a bump in his usage as well. Just looking at the bumps, though, Ricky Rubio sees a 3% bump in his usage. His fantasy point per minute average actually goes down, though. Devin Booker sees a 2% bump in usage, averages 0.07 fantasy points per minute more. Some other beneficiaries this season, like Dario Saric, has actually been a really big beneficiary. He's seen the 2nd highest bump in usage with Oubre off the floor. He has been much more productive as well. Like, he's been a fantasy point per minute player this season with Oubre off the floor in 168 minutes. I know Dario Saric, like, his minutes have been, even though he's starting, he's only playing like 20 minutes, but he's actually played really well in terms of fantasy. He's been productive with Oubre off, so he could be someone worth considering today. But the main targets for me from the Suns are definitely going to be Devin Booker. We'll talk about Oubre. We will talk about some value that's going to open up with Oubre out today. But mainly it's Devin Booker. Like, he's the guy that I really want to go to at 9K. This is a really good matchup. The Knicks are not a good defensive team, and we all know this. Looking at defensive rating, they ranked 27th in defensive rating. Earlier this season against the Knicks, Booker did put up a big game against them, had 51 Draftkings points in 38 minutes. Like, he's just playing so well as of late, getting big minutes as well. Like, he's playing 37, 38 minutes a game, putting up over 50 Draftkings points, and like, just looking at his game log, 4 of his last 6 games, he's put up over 50 DK points. Like, the guy has been so consistent. He's shooting a ton. With Oubre out, Oubre's a guy that's going to take probably 15 to 20 shots. Like, I expect Booker gets a lot of those shot attempts. I think Booker's just going to take a ton of shots today. I mean, he's probably going to take 20, 25 field goal attempts. going to see a ton of usage. His usage is up to 31.5% with Oubre off the floor, averaging 1.21 fantasy points per minute, nearly a 32% assist percentage. I love Devin Booker on both sides. He's one of my favorite plays today. His price is coming up, so maybe that'll keep people, or that'll shy people away. Like, I hope people shy away from him given the price has come up. I'm still going to be all over Devin Booker. He's one of my favorite spend-up options on today's slate. In the Garden, I expect him to play very well, put on a show, and no Oubre. Just going to be even more usage for Devin Booker. So I love going to him at point guard, shooting guard, wherever you want to play him. He's eligible at both on DraftKings. Lonzo, I do like quite a bit as well. Drew Holiday, we do already know is going to be out again, so Lonzo's going to continue to produce very solid numbers. He's getting big minutes right now. Against Detroit, that game did go to overtime, but even after the end of regulation, Lonzo had played like 40 minutes. Like, he's just getting a ton of minutes right now. He did benefit from Brandon Ingram being out in that game, but still, I mean, you look, even with Ingram was playing against Boston, the Knicks, like Ingram was playing in those games, 44, 46 DK points. He's put up big games recently with Drew Holiday out. He's been producing very well. Even at 7,900, like, Lonzo's still in play. The upside's still there. He still has 45, 50-point upside to where he can pay off this price tag. So I do like him quite a bit, and honestly, I'd probably prefer him over D'Angelo Russell if you're going to choose between those two guys. I think I'd slightly prefer Lonzo. But I do really like Donovan Mitchell at his salary, especially on both sides. Like, he's very appealing on both sides. Looking over to Yahoo, he's at shooting guard. He's only $31. Like, Mitchell really stands out in this matchup against the Pelicans. He stands out at 7,400 on DK. Really good spot here for Donovan Mitchell. Pace up spot for the Jazz. We know this Pelicans team plays extremely fast. You look at pace this season, they play at the 6th fastest pace. If you look at defensive rating, not a good defensive team. They rank 25th in defensive rating. I know Mitchell's already faced the Pelicans a couple times this season. Through 2 games against them, he's averaged 45 DraftKings points against the Pelicans, so he's done really well against them. Put up 36 DK points when they faced off like a week ago, and then I think the other time they played, he put up like 50 or 52 DK points. With no Mike Conley, I mean, Mitchell's still going to be like the primary ball handler. This guy still has really good numbers. He leads this team in usage. We'll look at the Jazz. We'll look at their usage this season. We'll take Mike Conley off the floor just so we can see Donovan Mitchell's numbers. So he's averaged 1.13 fantasy points per minute, 31% usage rate, 22% assist percentage, and 877 minutes with Conley off the floor. Like, I like targeting Mitchell when he gets good matchups against fast-paced teams, and that's what he's got today. And the price is also coming down on DraftKings, which makes him very appealing. It's coming down on both sides. I mean, he's $31 on Yahoo, which is also a very appealing price tag. So I do like Mitchell quite a bit today. Other guys in that price range you could maybe go to, like Rubio. With Oubre out, he does see a 3% bump in usage, so he could be a fine guy at 7,200. I would prefer to play Mitchell, though, for just $200 more. Jason Tatum didn't play on Wednesday. I did go to a lot of these Boston guys once we got the news Tatum was going to be out. That put me on Jaylen Brown, put me on Kemba Walker as well. Although Kemba had a bad game Wednesday, like if Tatum's out again, I'd go right back to Kemba Walker. So that'll be just kind of news we have to wait and see on. I have a feeling, though, that they just kind of, since it was a back-to-back, they just let Tatum sit out Wednesday so that he could play this game. Like, I expect he plays today. He was probable heading into Wednesday. Like, I think because it was a back-to-back, they just decided to sit him out for the first game. I assume he plays here against the Bucks. Big-time game, national TV. I have a pretty good feeling Tatum's going to play. But then other point guards like Lou Williams, you could always look to, especially since Paul George remains out. Like, Lou Williams averages about 1.3 fantasy points per minute with PG off the floor. He's been getting solid minutes recently as well. Cleveland, that game blew out. I don't really take that into account. But against Denver, he actually started that game. He played 35 minutes. I'm assuming against the Magic here, a game that should stay close. I mean, we don't have a line on any of the games right now. Like, none of the games on the slate have totals or spreads or anything. I'd assume that the Clippers are probably favored by like 8 or 9 today. Now, if the Magic are like, if they're going to be without Fournier, if they're going to be without Augustine, I mean, maybe the Clippers will be favored by like double digits, but still, I could see this game staying close. So, Lou Williams is 6,900. He's in play for me. Jamal Murray always has upside. He wound up playing Wednesday, which was pretty disappointing. I thought he was going to actually sit out, but he wound up playing. I don't know what he's doing Wednesday night, if he's having a good game or not, but Thursday here against the Warriors, like, that's a really good matchup. You could definitely look to Jamal Murray in the mid-range. Patrick Beverley's actually been playing really well with Paul George off the floor. He nearly had a triple-double last game against the Cavs, 35 DraftKings points in 23 minutes. Like, Beverley's usually not a guy that I play just because he's not like a high upside player, but I mean, he's shown some upside recently with PG off the floor. He's kind of contributing in all categories. Like, he's scoring, he's rebounding, he's getting assists. Honestly, he's not the worst play today at 5,600. If he's going to be popular, like, I'll look elsewhere, but could be someone to go to in tournaments if he's going to be low owned again. I'm pretty sure he was low owned on the last slate, if I'm not mistaken. But Markelle Fultz, I do want to talk about. So, with the possibility that both DJ Augustin and Evan Fournier are out again, like, we should see Markelle Fultz play a ton of minutes. I don't know what he's doing Wednesday night. Like, I'm recording this video before that game starts. The Magic play the Lakers Wednesday night. I'm recording this video about 20 minutes before that game starts. Fultz, I expect he's going to probably put up a decent game Wednesday if I had to assume. I mean, he should be able to get the minutes. No Fournier, no Augustin on Wednesday night. Like, I'd be surprised if Fultz doesn't play at least like 32 minutes. If both those guys remain out today, you could definitely look to Markelle Fultz. We can look at the Magic's usage this season with those guys off the floor. I don't think we're going to get much of a sample size, but we'll take a look at it. We know Jonathan Isaac's going to be out, so we can take him off the floor. We'll take Fournier off. I guess we could take Augustin off as well, but I'm pretty sure if we take Augustin off, like, we're going to get like no sample size. So just this season with both Fournier and Isaac off the floor, let's see. You have Markelle Fultz, 88 minutes played, 27% usage rate, averaging over a fantasy point per minute. Like, he could definitely be in play today, and I do like him quite a bit at 5,500. So I'm going to go ahead and plug him into the early core. If Fournier and Augustin both wind up playing on Wednesday or on Thursday, then maybe we could look elsewhere. But for now, I do like Fultz quite a bit at 5,500 on DK. Yahoo, probably don't want to go there. I mean, point guard, he is point guard. He's only $19. You could look to him, but just given the other values we have, like, we're going to talk about some value plays I like on Yahoo. Don't really have to go to Fultz at that salary. So other point guards, really isn't much else under 5K. I think Alec Burks is really cheap, 4,900, so he's worth considering. Damian Lee is going to play today for the Warriors, so Alec Burks is going to move back to the bench, but I still expect him to play probably 26 to 28 minutes. Coming off the bench, he should get more usage. Like, the less time that he plays alongside Russell and Draymond Green, like, the more usage he's going to get. His price has plummeted as well. It's a tough matchup, but he's really cheap today. I think Alec Burks is in play at 4,900 as a value, but that's probably it for point guard value plays for cheap options. So let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard now. So at shooting guard, the Boston guys I think are guys we need to talk about. This all depends on if Jason Tatum, if he's out or not. If Jason Tatum is out again on Thursday, then Jaylen Brown I love at 6,500. I played Jaylen Brown in my main lineup on Wednesday. He was a core play for me. Once we got the news that Tatum was going to be out, he did have a big game, 37 minutes, 43 DraftKings points. Price didn't move. I'd love to go back to Jaylen Brown today, but we just don't have that news right now. So for now, I'm going to leave him out of the core plays, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see there. Joe Ingles, though, I actually like a ton at 6,100. He's a guy we could look to pivot to off of Brown. Now, if Tatum's out, I would try and find the salary to get up to Jaylen Brown. But for now, we can go with Joe Ingles at 6,100 in the core plays. Like, this is a really good spot for Joe Ingles, just a really good spot to target the Jazz here, getting to play up in pace against the Pelicans. Joe Ingles really benefited just recently with Mike Conley out. He's just been getting big minutes. He's starting. I mean, last two games, over 42 DraftKings points, 2 straight games, 30, 33 minutes. Game against Charlotte, that game was kind of a blowout. I mean, they won by 17, only 21 minutes there. That game against the Knicks was a blowout. They won by 24, only 26 minutes. But if you look at close games, like, Ingles is probably going to play 30 to 32 minutes. With the addition of Jordan Clarkson, like, Ingles has definitely lost some minutes because of that. Like, Clarkson's actually playing quite a bit. But I still expect Ingles to probably get 30, 32 minutes in a pace-up matchup against the Pelicans. Like, they played on the 6th of January. Joe Ingles had 39 DraftKings points, 22, 2, and 6. Could see him putting up a similar line today. So I like going to him on DK at 6,100. You could definitely play him on Yahoo as well. He's at small forward. He is $22 or $23. Definitely in play in that mid-range. I do like him quite a bit over there as well. Terrence Ross, if both Fournier and Augustin remain out, I expect Terrence Ross to get a lot of run off the bench. His price is coming up, but he'd still be in play at 5,300. Like I talked about, Jordan Clarkson, he's getting a lot of run off the bench for the Jazz. Like, he's playing mid-20s, upper 20s in minutes. His production's been inconsistent, but this is definitely a matchup where you could see him put up a big game against a fast-paced Pelicans team. 5,200, he's expensive, or his price is getting up there. I wouldn't say he's expensive, but his price is coming up, so he's not a core play by any means. But if I was playing a lot of lineups, I would have exposure to Jordan Clarkson. But Mchale Bridges, this is the guy that I want to talk about. He's 4,500 on DraftKings. I do expect him to start today with Kelly Oubre out. I think he's probably going to play 30 to 32 minutes, if not more. He got 33 minutes against the Hawks. That was a game where Kelly Oubre actually played. We saw them play Bridges a lot, or they shifted everybody up, so we saw them play Booker at point guard, Oubre at the 2, Bridges at the 3, or they played Bridges at the 4 quite a bit as well. Right now, Aaron Baines and DeAndre Ayton are just splitting the center minutes. So you're seeing Mchale Bridges play a lot. At the 4, they're moving Oubre down to the 4, and they'll let Bridges play the 3 some. He's been getting minutes he's been getting quite a bit of minutes recently. 30, 26, 33 minutes the last 3 games. Now that Kelly Oubre's out, I think Bridges gets 30 plus minutes again. DraftKings did adjust for that. I mean, he's 4,500, so he's not a free square. It's not like he's minimum salary. But even this season, I think he's been a 0.85 or 0.9 fantasy point per minute player with Oubre off the floor. He can definitely put up a solid game at this salary, especially in a matchup against the Knicks. So I do like Bridges as kind of an early look value. Really like him on Yahoo. He's a small forward. He's very cheap over here, $12. Definitely looks like one of the better value plays on Yahoo, just at least as of now. Like I said, I'm assuming he starts. If he doesn't start, then probably want to look elsewhere, but I'm pretty positive that Bridges is going to get the start for Oubre today. But I think that's probably it for shooting guard value plays for cheap options. With Jrue Holiday out, you could always target Josh Hart because he's going to start and play about 30, 32 minutes. But I think I'd probably rather go to Bridges for a little bit cheaper. So let's move on to small forward now. At small forward, Brandon Ingram I want to talk about. Before we do talk about him, though, we'll hit on Kawhi. Kawhi 10,100 here against the Magic. Not the best matchup, but Paul George is going to remain out today. And with Paul George off the floor this season, we can look at the numbers. Kawhi does have very solid numbers with PG off the floor. He does see a pretty big boost. His usage is up to 36 or 37%, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 36.9% usage rate for Kawhi, averaging nearly 1.6 fantasy points per minute, 26% assist percentage, 12% total rebound percentage. Very solid numbers. 10-1, he's arguably one of the better studs to pay up for on today's slate. The last 3 games with PG out, he's played 38, 36, and 29 minutes, 61, 47, and 61 DraftKings points. He's worth this salary. He's one of the top pay-up options. It is tough to get him in on Yahoo. He's pretty expensive. They did price him up quite a bit. He's $48, but you can usually find good value on Yahoo, so it's still pretty easy to get to Kawhi if you want to go that route. I think I'd slightly rank him behind Jokic. I do really like Jokic in this spot against the Warriors. So for now, I'd rank Kawhi behind him, but Kawhi's a great option today. If more value opens up on Thursday, then obviously it'll be easier to get to him, and I will be trying to do that as much as possible. Brandon Ingram, though, I like a ton at 8,400. He's probable. He's expected to play Thursday, and his price has come down quite a bit on DK to 8,400. Didn't play in their last game because of a sore knee, but he's expected to play today, and just the last few games with Jrue Holiday out, Brandon Ingram has been putting up monster games. Just these 3 games against the Jazz, Bulls, and Knicks, all 3 of those games, Jrue Holiday was out, and Ingram put up 56, 61, and 51 DraftKings points. Just put up 56 DK points in 39 minutes a week ago against this Jazz team. I really like Brandon Ingram at 8,400. Honestly, saving the $1,700 and playing him over Kawhi might be something I look to do today, especially if not enough value opens up and we need those savings. $12 savings on Yahoo, I like that as well. Now, if some value opens up and it's easy to get to the Kawhi, then I'll try and do that. But for now, I definitely like Ingram at 8,400. It's not like he's 99K, 9,500 like he was on the last few slates. Price has come down a little bit on DK. But then you got the Boston guys who are going to be kind of wait and sees. If Tatum's out, I like going to these guys again. You can definitely target some of these Orlando guys, especially if Fournier and Augustine are both out. Aaron Gordon at 6K, you could look to. Draymond Green, 5,800, always a fine option, but don't love the matchup. His minutes have been kind of down recently as well. A lot of that has to do with blowout. They've got blown out the last 2 games. In close games, I expect him to play about 30, 32 minutes. He still hasn't been that productive. So it's not like Draymond's a core play, but there's always upside for Draymond. There's always triple-double upside for him. Ross you could look to coming off the bench for value. Hart should play about 30, 32 minutes with Holiday out. He's a fine value. Dario Saric, like I said earlier, he's actually been a fantasy point per minute player this season with Kelly Oubre off the floor. He's only getting like 20 minutes right now. He is starting, but he's only playing about 20 minutes. I assume he only plays about 20, 22 minutes today. Maybe with Oubre out, they give him like 24, 26 minutes. I mean, he's $3,800 on DraftKings, so it's not like you're paying a hefty price for him. Like, if you get 26 minutes from Sarge, there's easily potential that he puts up 30 DraftKings points. So if you're playing tournaments, you want a low-owned value play. I'm assuming Sarge is going to be low-owned. I don't think he's going to be that popular. If you want a low-owned value play that has some upside, I think Dario Saric would be on my radar at $3,800. He should see a few more minutes with Oubre out. I definitely would expect him to soak up some more minutes. But yeah, let's move on to power forward now. So power forward, you got Giannis at the top, 11-7 against the Celtics. Tough matchup for Giannis, but this is going to be a competitive game. It should be a competitive game, and that's when I like to target Giannis. Like, you look, his minutes have just been so low recently, 21, 28, 28, and all that has to do with blowout. Beat the Kings by 21, beat Portland by 21, beat the Knicks by 24. This is actually a game that Giannis should have to play his full minutes in. He should have to play 32, 34 minutes. He's expensive. He's 11-7. There's not a ton of value right now, so it's tough to get him in, but if more value opens up, I think Giannis is on my radar today, even in a less than ideal matchup against the Celtics. I mean, if we're going to get Giannis playing his full minutes, that's what I really care about, and I think that's what we get today. So I do have interest in him. Julius Randle is a fine option against the Suns, but I think I would slightly prefer Brandon Ingram. DeAndre Ayton, his minutes have just been kind of down recently now that he's splitting center minutes with Aaron Baines. He did get 33 minutes against the Hawks last game. He's still coming off the bench, though, which makes me hesitant to play him. It's 7,700. Like, you need him to put up near 50 DraftKings points to be a good tournament play at this price. I just don't know if he has that upside right now coming off the bench. Like, I just don't need to pay for Ayton at 7,700, especially if he's not going to get, like, huge minutes. Other power forwards, though, like Derek Favors, if he's fully healthy, he is probable. He's expected to play today. If he could get like 30, 32 minutes, I would like him quite a bit at 5,900. Like, Favors has been a very productive player this season. He's been a point-per-minute player. When he faced the Jazz a week ago, he did put up 31 DraftKings points in 29 minutes. Like, you could definitely go to Favors today at 5,900. His price has come down quite a bit on DK. I do like him. Spellman, 4,800, continues to start at center. Continues to see pretty consistent minutes, 27 to 28 minutes. I assume that's what he plays today. Tough matchup against Denver, but the minutes should be there. The price has actually come down on DK. He's still pretty cheap on Yahoo as well at $14 at power forward. So I do have some interest in Amari Spellman as a value. But I think that's it for power forward plays in terms of value plays. Michael Porter Jr., he's having a big game right now off the bench Wednesday night. If Gary Harris remains out Thursday and Porter Jr. continues to see good run off the bench, like 3,600, he could definitely be in play as a value. I have a feeling that because Porter's putting up a big game Wednesday, if Gary Harris is out Thursday, then Porter actually might become like a really chalky value play. In that case, I'd probably be a little hesitant to play him because coming off the bench, his minutes are going to be inconsistent. He got really hot from the field Wednesday, or at least he's hot from the field right now as I'm recording this video. So I think that's going to help him get more minutes, but you never know there. Still, though, we're really desperate for value today, so Porter Jr. would definitely be on my radar, especially if Gary Harris does remain out. But let's go ahead and look at center now just before we end the video. So at center today, you do have Nikola Jokic at the top, who I like quite a bit. I like him a lot on Yahoo. If we look over on Yahoo, he's $41. Like, he definitely stands out as one of the better plays to go to over on Yahoo. Like, you just look at the stud options that we have. Giannis is $55, pretty expensive price tag, but I mean, you can make it work on Yahoo. Kawhi is $48, which is a pretty expensive price as well. But then you have guys like Booker for $39, Jokic for $41. You got Brandon Ingram for $36. Like, these are the kind of guys I'm probably looking to over on Yahoo today. I really like this matchup for Jokic. I think he can bully this Warriors team, whether it's Draymond Green, Draymond's a good defender, but he's not like he's going to slow down Jokic. If Amari Spellman's guarding Jokic, like, Jokic should just be able to abuse Amari Spellman. Price came down a little bit on DraftKings. I do like Jokic. He is one of my favorite stud options today. right now, with the minimum value that we have, it is tough to get him in on DK. Like these 9K, 8K, kind of 7K options look really good. So unless some more value opens up, I don't know if I'll be able to get to Jokic in my main build on DraftKings. But on Yahoo, with how soft their pricing is, it's pretty easy to get to Jokic. Like you plug Booker, Mitchell, and Jokic in, then you put in Bridges as a value play. I mean, you still have $77 left for 4 spots, which you can easily make work on Yahoo. But we will talk about some other center plays that I do like on Yahoo in a second. But going back to DraftKings, Gobert, you could target, but I think I'd prefer to go to Jokic. Not much I like in the mid-range, like Vooch, Randall, Ayton. These aren't like my core plays for me, or these aren't going to be core plays for me. Favors, I think you can definitely look to in the mid-range at 5,900, assuming he's fully healthy and not going to be limited. Amari Spellman you could go to as a value for 4,800. Jeremy Grant you could look to at 4,800, and he is someone that I want to talk about on Yahoo. So Grant, 4,800 on DK, fine play, but over on Yahoo, he is very cheap. If we look over here, he's only $11 at power forward. I believe Paul Millsap's going to be out for a while, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check that real quick. All right, so Millsap was ruled out for Wednesday. Obviously, he's missed 4 straight games, so I'm assuming Millsap remains out Thursday, which definitely puts Jeremy Grant on my radar, especially at his Yahoo salary of $11. Like, just looks like a clear value there. Really good matchup against the Warriors. He's getting very big minutes right now with Paul Millsap out. Just the last 3 games with Millsap out, 33, 27, 33 minutes. Like, the minutes are there. The production, it's going to be kind of inconsistent, but at $11, it's not like you need him to put up 40 fantasy points. Like, if he gets even 20 to 25 fantasy points, I mean, he's pretty good at $11, and anything more than that is just kind of gravy. So, or it's whatever, gravy on the bone, whatever you want to say. I don't even know what kind of phrase I'm trying to say there. But $11 for Jeremy Grant. Really like that Yahoo salary. Really like him on Yahoo, assuming Paul Millsap does remain out. Now, if Millsap plays, obviously you want to make some changes there, but I'm assuming that he remains out today. And you could go to Grant on DraftKings. It's just 4,800. A little bit less of a priority there given the price has come up there, and they have adjusted the price tag. And then, like I said at the beginning, you could take a shot on Dario Saric. I think Dario Saric is center eligible. Okay, never mind. But Saric has a value 3,800. Been a point per minute player this season with Oubre out the floor, so could see some more minutes, more opportunity with Oubre out. But that's really it for center, guys, in terms of value plays. I think we covered everything, so hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. As always, I greatly appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you do drop a like down below before you get out of here. Make sure to check out the Patreon as well. See all the exclusive content I have to offer over there. If you do become a Patreon member by Friday, like I said at the beginning of the video, you will be entered into our $100 free roll contest that I will be running for Friday night's NBA slate. You'll have a chance to win $50. If you don't win first place, and if you get in second, you'll get $30. Get third, you'll get $20. So it's a top 3, get paid. There'll probably be like 60, 70 people in there, maybe 80 people. So it's not like your chances of winning are like, it's not like it's like slim to none. I mean, you have a decent chance to actually win, to place top 3 out of 80 people. So check out the Patreon, see all the content I have to offer over there. Sign up and you'll get entered into the free roll contest. I will be posting the link to join on Patreon probably Thursday night whenever salaries are released for Friday night's NBA slate, probably just after I record my video for Friday night slate. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe. I do appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter as well if you haven't already. Very active over there. Good luck tonight, guys. Appreciate you watching. See you in the next one. Peace.